Oh my God, it's been like forever. It's been a long ass fucking time. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all are having an amazing start to your year. We're basically 6 months in, so this is literally the halfway mark. I have not talked to y'all really in 6 months. Fuck. This year has been quite transformative for me, and I'm not sure if it's just because I'm getting closer to 30. Lately, I've been feeling a lot of like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go through this anymore. And by that, I mean, I've been looking at a lot of my own actions and trying to figure out, like, okay, so X, Y, and Z keeps happening. And if Z keeps happening, then bitch, what the fuck am I doing? X and Y, or X, what am I doing that's causing me to whatever, with bitch, you get the fucking, I'm not good at analogies. What am I doing with my actions that make me get to the end point that is causing this thing? That still did not come out right. I've been looking at my own behaviors and how my own behaviors have caused certain things in my life, or rather, how certain things keep happening in my life. And this really started at the very, very beginning of the year, like right as we entered 2025. So remember that boy who pepper sprayed me and accused me of stealing his boyfriend and like called the police saying that I held his boyfriend hostage? If y'all don't remember that, there's a link up there. You should go click on it. Check out the video. If not, I can give you a small little recap here. I basically met these two guys and we became friends, or at least I thought we became friends. And then one of those two guys hit me up a few weeks later after we had met. I only known them for like a month at this point, and was like, yo, I need to get out of this situation. This situation's dangerous. This situation's like, it sucks. I need help, blah, 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 blah. It seemed like it was a crisis thing, right? So I was like, okay, sure, I'll get you an Uber. Called them an Uber, came to my place. That same very day, his boyfriend then went apeshit. And apparently I found out all these different things about how like he didn't have a phone. The guy who came to stay with me didn't have a phone because the guy that, you know, he's now running away from is like controlling his phone and controlling his life. He wouldn't let him see his mom. He like basically had his life shackled up. And now, again, his boyfriend is coming after me, accusing me of stealing his boyfriend, both literally and figuratively, but also literally, because then he called the cops and said that I had his boyfriend hostage at my place. And his boyfriend obviously just didn't want to go back with him. And it was a whole fiasco. And then he came to my job, and then I got pepper sprayed, bitch. I got pepper sprayed first, and then he came to my job. It was like, and then he wouldn't leave us alone, and he was borderline stalking us, making up different numbers. It was a lot. It was a lot. But that's beyond the point, kind of. What happened with that situation? Where'd that situation lead? Old dude left his boyfriend. His boyfriend came to stay with me. His boyfriend never left. Like, I know this sounds bad. Me and the dude that came to stay with me, because again, he came to stay with me with no plan of leaving. He was there for a good minute. We started dating, which I know looks bad because I'm the one who said that I didn't steal his boyfriend, but I did steal his boyfriend. Number one, you can't steal someone's boyfriend. In past relationships, I've had to really be very conscious of what's toxic and what's not toxic. Like, them not texting me back, and when, like, in 5 minutes, that's not toxic. Like, that's you being a little bit, they're not leaving you, they're fucking wiping their ass before they text you, okay? Like, it's okay. I didn't have to do that with this guy. Like, this guy was feeding in, he like validated all of my toxicness or all of my toxic desires in terms of like, I want you to be there 24/7. I want you to answer me 24/7. I want you to come to my every single whim 24/7. I want you to be like I want you to need me. I want you to need me. He acted as though we were like one unit, which was very strange. So like, if he was going to go do something, it's like, we're gonna go do something. If I was gonna go do something, he's tagging along. Which, you know, was cute at first. And then it was like, okay, I need like, what are you doing? So it was a lot, you guys. It was a lot. And it was from 0 to 100 very fast. And my dumbass, crazy ass, bitch ass self was like, I love this. This is great. This is everything I want right now, because I was sad and lonely, and, you know, he was giving me everything that my desperate, sad, depressed heart, like my inner child, was wanting and needing, like everything, because he was so attached, so dependent, and like needing that person to like kind of survive, to latch onto. It sounds weird, but like that's what it was. And my inner child, or the pieces of me that were broken, were being fed. And that's what I like it felt like a drug. It was like, oh, this is nice. So I knew this, or I felt this, right? I felt this like, ah. But logically, I knew, like, I was looking at myself like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? It was like watching my life on a TV screen and like not being able to pause. I kept on doing things and I knew I probably shouldn't be doing them, but I was doing them anyway. And it was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Because logically, I knew this wasn't gonna work out. I knew this wasn't gonna work out. I knew these patterns were toxic. I knew this shit sounded fucking crazy. That's why no one knew about it. I didn't tell anybody about it. I knew all this shit was insane. And even my friends who kind of knew about it, and my friends who I kind of told, because again, it's hard when someone's living with you, especially like when you have a roommate, it's really hard for them not to know like what the fuck's going on. So I knew logically like this shit is not great, but like why was I doing it anyway? We started dating again, like a few days after I got pepper sprayed, which means it was only a few days after they broke up. From a 3-year relationship, he then went with me. So automatically, like, I knew that, like, this shit ain't gonna work. This is, like, not gonna work. What are you doing, Jules? Like, what are you doing? This is, like, you're already number one, not even over your ex. And now you're about to and y'all are living together. Y'all are both codependent as fuck. Codependent as in, like, he, for example, a few nights in after being with me, I was like, yo, do you miss, like, your ex? Do you miss the crazy boy? He was like, no, I don't miss him at all. When I'm done with somebody, I'm done with them. That's all. Like, I don't miss him one bit. I'm like, okay, well, that's a red flag because you were with this person for 3 years. 3 years. You don't miss him at all. You don't think about him at all. You were with them for 3 years, bitch. You should be thinking about him at least you should be thinking, that's weird. When he first got to me, we had to create new profiles for him, right? Because again, his ex, the cuckoo boy, he had basically taken they had morphed identities together so that he could control him or whatever the fuck it was. I don't fucking know. But point is that he needed a new email, a new Apple ID. He needed like a new number. He needed new like social accounts. He needed to do all of that shit, right? And his email, I'm not sure if anything else was named to this, but his email and his fucking social accounts were named Jules, as in me, N, as in the word and, but it was an N. And then I don't want to say their name because it's YouTube, so keep it confidential. But it was Jules and at yahoo.com, Jules and at Instagram, like at Instagram, at Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Well, I think that's kind of a lot. Kind of intense, kind of middle school, kind of intense. Right off the bat, like the relationship again only lasted for about a month or so, a month and a half. What's really fucked up about the whole thing is that I genuinely think in the moment when we first started dating, I keep doing this because in my mind, it was never really a real relationship. In my mind, it was always just like, this is a thing for now. It probably is not gonna last long anyway, who cares? But I'm going to like, play with it right now. And by play with it, I mean, I was like making up emotions, not making up emotions, but like if he did something that I normally would have thought was wrong or thought was bad, I would like hype it up with the emotion, be like, I can't believe you did that. I'm so hurt. So that he'd come give me comfort. Knowing in the back of my mind, like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. What the, don't care. Towards like the end of the relationship, this is how it ended. Towards the end of the relationship, I realized he's a really bad liar, a terrible fucking liar. But he was lying to me and cheating on me with his ex, with his then ex, who's now his boyfriend again. The crazy boop. We're all fucking crazy though. But you know, the guy who pepper sprayed us. The guy who pepper sprayed us, he's back with. So anyway, when I say he's a bad liar, I started to pick up on these lies. That did not end the relationship. I picked up on certain lies and that he was not just lying about that, but I picked up on him lying about other things, like other bullshit things, like things that you didn't necessarily have to lie about, but I was just like, okay, you know, he's a he's a liar, okay? He's great. He's a serial liar. He's a psychopathic liar. I don't know. He was lying about like a lot of shit. So I essentially like, it wasn't a game to me. It wasn't a game at all. And I don't really know why the fuck I was doing it. Probably because I'm toxic. I'm crazy, just like the guy who pepper sprayed us. I'm that crazy. But like, I found out certain things that he lied to me about, where he was going, certain people he was talking to, like what he was doing, like guys he might have been sleeping with, guys he might not have been sleeping with. I don't really know. But I would not tell him that I knew. I would not tell him how I knew or what I knew or like divulge any information or even call him a liar or even call him out on that. but I would say things like, you don't love me, or like, you don't care about me, or like, you don't want this, or like, I would dramatize it up to like 1,000, and like, really just, I should have won my Oscar for it. But it was like, bitch, why are you doing this? And that's the same thing. Like, bitch, pause, stop the movie. And I couldn't. It was just going and going and going. And I was just going with the emotions and going with the flow and going with it, all of it. Until like, I think, money was the problem. I think money, like, a bitch was eating me out of house or home. And like, I wasn't making a lot at the time. And it was, yeah. So bitch, that sobered me up real quick. And I think that's actually how I broke out of that cycle. Because I was like, look, this was fun. And he was getting on my nerves, and he was a liar. But like, it was like, look, this has been fun, but this is not gonna work out. So we gotta go. You gotta go. Bye. We can't. Plus the idea that like, okay, Jules, you've done this before. Maybe not to this extreme, but you've done the whole, like, you've done this. You've done like the codependency, or wanting someone to be codependent, or being codependent in different types of ways. Or like, you've done the whole patternistic, toxic behavior where you know it's going to end up badly. And if you're not fixing it now, I guess I don't really know what the pattern is. I think the pattern is me doing something with a romantic relationship that's either codependent or toxic. And continuing with it anyway, even though I know that it's a bad idea. Or being with somebody even though I know they're a fucking liar and it's a bad idea. Or someone who's not being truthful. Or being with somebody who's not wanting to be with me 100%. Not doing their shit 100%. That whole ordeal, like, just doing this, and you've done this before, you don't want it. This is not what you want. This is not what's in the cards for you. You know how this is going to end, and that's the point there. I knew how it was going to end, and I didn't want to see that again. This was doing nothing for me because it was going nowhere. And that was the first time I think which just sounds really immature and kind of crazy, but it's the first time I've ever really felt that, like, to the like actual degree. This is going nowhere for me. I'm not going to do anything with it because it's not going anywhere for me, right? So I dropped him. And apparently he went back with his boyfriend or whatever. So that was a thing. That's what I realized through all of this. I got that off my chest. That was a lot, but like, I feel like really good at having said it. But aren't I like fucking batshit like insane, y'all? Because the fact that like, that's the whole point. That's also another big point I want to make here is that like, we can laugh and talk about old dude who was pepper spraying us and all that shit, like calling the cops. Like, that shit was crazy, bitch. But what was crazier, me fucking acting like I was in a relationship, knowing I wasn't in a relationship, knowing this guy is cheating and lying on me, but I don't really care because the whole situation had batshit crazy written all over it. And I don't want to be a part of anything like that, right? So I left the situation and things got a lot better for me. Now things got worse, but we'll get into that later. I realized that through all of this, I have a codependency problem. A big codependency problem. So, I'm kind of I'm not dating right now, but I am dating, but I'm not dating because of the whole codependency issue that I have not dealt with. I think I need to go to therapy for, or I need to do something for, rather than just say like, I have codependency issues and like trying to fix it myself. Because yeah, I'm codependent as fuck. And I also realized I don't think I'm completely over my last relationship, which makes sense considering that it was like on and off, 2.5 to 3 years, 3.5 years. I was actually planning on moving to Miami for the fucking person back in fucking August. And then y'all, this person came back into my life like 2 months ago for like a month. I let the same shit happen to me. From long distance, the same shit happened to me. I let it happen to me because I let it happen because I brought them back into my life knowing what the fuck was going to happen, and the same shit happened. I knew it was going to happen, but I did it anyway. Same shit happened. They left the same way, and they live in Miami. So I let this shit happen again for like, it was like the express mode, the express version, or like the quick version. Let the shit play out all over again. The shit that had played out a bajillion times over the last 3 years. Let that shit happen to me again for 4 weeks. Why? Because I'm codependent, bitch. So I think I need to go to therapy and get over this person and get over my codependency, or have some coping skills or some ways to deal with this shit before dating again. And that's what I found out through all of this. Oh, and that domestic violence is very, very real. Listen to your friends and provide support, love, and all that jazz. I can't think of something really cute and clever to end this, so I'm just gonna say peace out. Peace out!